Hey, everybody. It is hopefully you can hear me. It's Wednesday, August 17th, and I'm doing this crazy thing that I do from time to time where I'm just going to go live and do a build while we're on the air. So I was frantically closing down programs. I just got off a coaching call, which was fantastic, but now I got to change gears. Also, if you're live, give me a hashtag live in the chat if you don't mind. I'd like to see who's here. And also, if you are live, I didn't check. Am I up against the venerable David Lemon on YouTube? Is he still live? I saw he was up there a while ago doing his demo of 2.0. Let's see. It says that he is streamed 22 minutes ago. So it looks like he's finished. So perfect timing. Now I can follow up on him and totally miss everything that he said because I was out and I was on a coaching call. But yeah, I have a friend. Hey, Diet, good to see you here. Welcome. And I have a friend who I'm doing a project for. He contacted me a few days ago and he has this really simple thing he wants to set up. And so I thought, well, why don't I do a live build with it and we'll see how Groovepages 2.0 feels. So that's what I'm going to do. And I got to think about which screen I'm sharing here and get myself organized. Apologies. I'm going to move this one over to this screen and then I'm going to share it and we're going to get started. I actually have to find his site. And Ray, if you're live, actually, if you want to join me on camera, Raymond, that'd be amazing. But if you're not on with me, that's fine as well. Let's see. I need to find the pages that he was wanting to mimic. Hey, Michelle, great to have you here. Sorry for the fumbling around. I'm going to get it going here. Let's see. I'm trying to find my messages from Ray. Ray is a friend of mine. I met Ray during virtual coach training with Eben Pagan. If you've done virtual coach training, give me a hashtag virtual in the comments. All right, let's see. I know he's got a site. Here's a link to something I've created. I think this is it. All right, got it. All right, cool. So I'm going to start sharing screen. I'm going to go in and, oh gosh, I got to close a bunch of browser windows here. There's one. Close that one down. There's one. Close that one down. I had not just tabs, I had four browser windows open. Here's another one. Gosh. So hope I don't close down my StreamYard. Hey, we're still there. Okay. All right. I am alive. Facebook user says I'm alive. If you go to StreamYard.com/Facebook and give Facebook access to your account, then I can see your name. Right now, I can just see that there's somebody who said I am alive. Is that you, Raymond? If it is, Oluwu, that was you. Great. All right, here we go. I'm going to share screen. Enough of this talking. Let's get in and try using 2.0 to build this example. All right, this is, I'm in the client's account and I'm just going to start from scratch and see if we can build. What we're building is this. Grab that and go put it in this one. All right, Ray Headway to Happiness. As you can see, is a really simple page, but we're going to grab his images and we're going to just build this out in version 2.0. So let's go to GrooveFunnels and we're just going to do a new site. Now, this is, if you saw David's video, you've seen all of this, but we're going to go to complete sites. We can go to funnels. We can look through those. The nice thing that I saw is that we can also click on them, I think, and see the pages. Yeah, see the different pages that are in there. Take a look at them, and we can choose individual pages when we're adding them. We're not going to add anything. We're going to go to complete sites. We're going to go to a blank template. We're going to call this Ray's new site and start building. All right. So when we come in to a blank page, we have to add a block to the canvas. As you know, we don't go over here to grab blocks anymore. We just click plus, as you may or may not know. So when we click plus, we get access to all of these blocks, right? So we can find headers and gallery and all that good stuff. I'm going to just go with a blank block with an empty one. And we really don't need columns. We're going to need 2 columns in here to create this, but he has just a single column down the page. I guess there are 3 columns at the bottom here. So let's go ahead and we're going to put his image and the header at the top. And then we'll do another block that just has these buttons. We'll do one more block with these 3. I believe these are buttons as well. And then we'll do a 3 column container at the bottom. All right, so we're going to just go ahead and put in an empty designer, empty blocks. We're just going to grab the empty container. You just click it and it's added. I want to use his background color, so I'm going to use color picker. And that is the color. Let's grab that. Let's go put this in the background. Okay, so we still have block settings over here on the right. So let's go to the background and color down here, the hex code. If you have a question, by the way, go ahead and ask it. I'll try to keep up with questions as well. Now, one of the things that I noticed also is this is very narrow. So we're going to go ahead with this main container right here that we're using inside the block. We're going to shrink it a bit. So let's go to size. We're going to pull it back. It's kind of like around that size. So we're going to do that before we start adding anything. Now we're going to go and no, we're not going to go to blocks. We're going to go to elements. I'm used in 1.0, blocks was at the top and elements was second. So I'm getting used to clicking the top button. And we're going to go to media, grab an image. Actually, it was a round image, wasn't it? We're going to grab a round image and bring it in here. We want to center this image. So here's the image. Let's finish putting the image in first. Let's see if we can download this. Save image as, and we're just going to put it down in screenshots. All right, let's go find that image. We click the gear here. We don't go over here for configure it all. We just click the gear, choose the image. We're going to upload the image. Actually, he has images in there, but let's just grab the one we got from him. It's this one. It's going to upload and we're going to click select. And we're just going to put an alt value in here of photo of update. All right. So now we have his image in here, but we want it to be centered. So in order to center this image, we're going to go from the image. We're going to check out our breadcrumbs down here at the bottom. And we have an image. We're going to go to the container that's holding it, go to layout, vertical, and we're going to use this second from the left, and we just centered his image. So let's just go take a look. His is smaller. So let's go ahead. We might as well do that. And let's go to the size. Okay, this is a fixed width. We can work with that. Let's make it 150 and 150. All right, that's more like the size he has. Probably this is a little bit smaller, but now we have a header, Ray Headway to Happiness Tribe. So we're going to use an H1 in elements. So H1, pull that over. It's hard to see now because it doesn't seem to say drop here, but you can kind of see that the dark that showed up there below his image, and that's where we're dropping the heading. All right, so we're just going to copy his text completely. Copy. paste. All right, and I think he must have hard returns in there to get it. Headway to Happiness Tribe. Let's go take a look. All right, it's bold. Not exactly sure what font that is. So we're going to bold it and we're going to center it. And it's a bit larger. Not much, but it's a bit larger. So let's go to text and let's go ahead and we lost our centering. Okay, maybe a little bit larger yet. That looks close. A little bit larger. Actually, let's do parent weight bold. Yeah. All right. So now what I'm going to do is push this down away from the text because it needs some space. So away from the image, I should say. So the image has space above it and below it. So I'm going to do two things. I'm going to go into the block itself and I'm going to put spacing. Now you can go over here. This is where I'm used to going and I always use this, but you can actually click here, put your space in here. I'm going to put about 50 at the top and at the bottom of inside the block. So we're putting that padding in there. Then I'm going to go into the image and go to the spacing again, or I can go here and let's put 20 below or 30. Let's see what that looks like. Probably a little more than what he has over here. Let's go a little bit less. All right, 20. All right, we have his image and his header. We want to put these two buttons on here now. So let's go ahead. We might as well put it in the same block because it all has the same color and all that good stuff. So we're going to go to elements again. We're going to grab the two columns, pull it down, and you can see again, it can be here, it can be above or below. And I can see sometimes it's still, there we go. Sometimes you have to go, by the way, if you can't get it in the middle like this, you see this? If you go past the element and then come back down on it, it will let you put it in between. So let me show you that again. You see how right now I can't get it in between? If I go up past the image and then hover on it, it's going to let me put it in there, which is not where we want it. We want it below it. So let's drop it there. And then we want buttons. And this is, I love this. This is just the pile of buttons that are already pre-formatted for us with colors and styles and all that good stuff. So there are designed buttons and then there's the standard buttons that we're used to. So I'm going to go with a designed button, get it somewhat close. These have icons on them. I'm not sure I can completely duplicate that, but let's go to one that has a solid color and is just rounded. It's not, this is the wrong color, I'm sure, but we're going to pull this one in and we're going to go to this button and we're going to edit the button itself. So this button over here has a chat. So we're going to just open this link in a new tab to see what we're opening. Okay, so this is open on WhatsApp and we're not going to do that right now. So he's sending people to this link that opens WhatsApp and we are frozen. How's everybody doing? I see some of you are still watching. Any questions, thoughts? I'll try to keep up with the comments, but I don't know if I can see everybody's comments. Okay, we're back. It's trying to open WhatsApp. All right, so this is going to be just an icon on a button. One of the things we could do, let's try this. Let's right click and we can't save as. What we can do to cheat right now is screen grab of this. Or I could make it look exactly the same. We're just going to grab that as an image. We'll see how that works. We can use the email and see if we can use those. Let's go in to the button and let's change the color. So we need our color picker again. And we're just going to grab this color. And we're going to go to right here on the button itself. This, I believe, this right here is the background. So let's click that. and it's not giving me anything. So let's go to the settings. It's also not giving me anything. So let's go to the background over here. And we're going to put in our hex code we just found. All right, so now we have that color, and it's a black icon that's on it. So let's go to the black icon. Let's go see if we can. This has an icon here. What happens? I've never tried this. Let's go to the configuration again over here. No, it must be here. Link to. I'm looking for how to configure this icon. Use left, use right. Let's do this. Let's use a right icon, and let's see if WhatsApp is there. Ah, look at that. We didn't have to cheat. All right, so we're going to use this and update it. We're going to link to the main label. I'm going to delete the main label and see what happens. It just says button. Darn. So let's go to the text color. Yeah, we can't. I think we're gonna be able to click these things to configure, but right now we can't. So let's just go to edit the button again. Let's say, well, for now, I'll let him determine. Raymond, if you're watching, let me know what you want this to say, but I'm going to say, contact me. We're going to use the WhatsApp button and link to. We know what we're going to link to here because we're going to just grab this link, copy link address, URL, and I'm going to open it in a new tab and check mark. Now, the only thing that's missing now is this the color of this text. So let's go over here. I'm hoping we can just change that here. There's the black. And let's see what else. This is larger. So let's go do that. The text is larger. Let's go ahead and pull that up a bit. And the final thing I'm going to do with this button, it's not really about the button, but again, it's centering the button. So I'm going to go from the button to the container that's holding it. And I'm going to do layout, vertical. I'm going to go center top to bottom and center left to right. So we don't have a button that looks exactly the same. Looks like there's a little shadow behind this as well. Let's do that. So let's click on it. We're going to go to the box shadow, drop this down, and probably do at least a large. Now it's looking more like it. The corners are rounded a bit more. So let's go to border, click on the corners, and let's make it 10 instead of 5. All right, not perfect, but we're starting to mimic what's here. Then the reason I did this before I added the button is I'm just going to take this button now and duplicate it right here. And now I'm going to grab it and pull it over here. I'm going to go to the container that's holding it, do the same thing to center it. And now we just have to edit this button. This is an email, so let's do copy link address. We're going to do the same thing here. We're just going to say text. We're going to go to configure the button. Instead of saying contact me, we're going to say email me. It's this URL, and we're going to replace the icon with a, see if we have an envelope or a mail. Here we go. Which one do we have? He has kind of the open one, so let's go with this one. Update. And that's it. We created the 2 buttons. They are side by side. So we're starting to create this. Now I can see by this that the header over here is larger. Let's make sure we're zoomed 100%. There we go. 100% here. And let's make sure we're zoomed the same here. Okay. So zoomed 100% here, zoomed 100% here. It's a bit larger. Let's see. But we're going to go with that. All right, so we've got the next thing, which is this wobbly image. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can save this image, see what it looks like, save. Let's just go take a look at it, see if it's the whole thing. It's the Headstrong Weekly Mastermind. So just the image on the top, and then it has this highlighting above and below and has some text. So we're going to do that by creating a new block. So instead of creating a whole new one, because I'm lazy, I'm just going to duplicate this one. Actually, no, because I want you to see how to do things, I'm going to click plus. Let's go back. How did I add a block? Right now, and I don't know if they're going to change this or not, but right now, in order to add a block, there's no way to find it over here unless it's a global block. So if it's just a regular block, we click so that we have the block selected, and then we can put something above it, a block below, above, or a block below. So I'm going to click block. Now, this, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do an empty container, and now we have a block added below. I'm going to do a couple things before we get too far into this. I'm going to go to the container up here, which we changed the size. So we made it 51%. Let's just do 50 so it's easy to remember. And we're going to have to fix this later. I'm going to go into this container size and make it 50 so we have the same size going down the page. We also used this color as the background. We want the same color, so we're going to go background, and the color should be right here. We used it already, so we're going to click that. Same color. Now, what we want to put in here is what we're going to do is we're going to make this all one container. And the container is going to have, I'm going to try this anyhow. The container is going to have some space above and below for the image, and then it's going to have space on the bottom for some text. But all of this, the rounded corners, is going to be one container. And since it's only one in this block, I'll just use the main container. Most of the time, what I do is add another container inside the main container. So that we have a container in a container. I guess we'll do that. What we're going to do with this is we're going to go take a look. This is the same width as these buttons. So let's take a look. Pretty much the same thing. So let's go border. We're going to change the border to, let's go 15 or maybe 20. We won't see it until we start putting things together. Now there's a different color, or it's just, it might be the same color with some shadow. So let's do that. Let's go put a shadow on this, box shadow, extra large. Now let's just take a look. We're going to go into the block, put some spacing. I'll go up and check, but I think we did 50 up here. Spacing 50, yeah. Okay, so now we start to see, you can see that it's rounded. And what I'm going to do is put a background on this block that is the same color, just to see if that works. We might use color picker and see that it's not the same color. All right, so what we need in here then is we need an image, and this may be an extra element right here as well. We'll see. We need an image, and then we need, I have to think about it here for a second. Okay, this image needs to be inside its own container, which is fine because I added a container for it to be in. So let's do that. Let's go add the image. So elements, it's going to take me a while to figure out how to see things that I want. Okay, I just discovered, should have noticed this. If you scroll, these look like they're almost in the same order. I see they moved tabs up because they're working now. They used to be at the bottom. Okay, so pretty much if you want to, you don't want to sort through these, you can kind of use the same method you used to, which is scroll down to find it. I'm going to grab an image and put it in this container. Now, you can see again, this image is inside this container. This is the one, this container here is going to be this top part that has a little padding above and below with the color. So we're going to go to this container. We're going to go ahead and put that padding in there by going to spacing, And I don't know, it might be 15, maybe 20. All right. Then we're going to change this image. So let's go here. I think I downloaded it, didn't I? You know what? I think it already has some of the stuff I'm trying to create here. Did I download this or no? Let's go take a look. Save image as. Oh, I put it in the screenshots. All right, here we go. Upload image, screenshots, right here. Oh, I see. Look at that. They did all the work for us. The image itself already has the border on it. Cool. But since I was in the middle of showing you how to do it, I'm going to crop this and get rid of what they did for us. Groove. I cannot see the bottom. There it is. Okay, I had to zoom out a little bit. So let's go here. So we're cropping it so I can show you how to create the same effect. Crop and select, update, and exit. All right, so you see I have a rounded container and I have this color on the top and the bottom. If you look over here, though, they have a straight, they don't have a rounded border at the bottom. Well, we are in luck. We can take the container. Let's go to the image, go to the container that's holding it. Now let's go to border and let's go to the bottom corners and get rid of the rounding. Now we're getting close. So what we have now is the top part, right? And we want to add the text below it with a white background. So let's go ahead and add another container. We're going to put it below this container. It is an empty container. We're going to go change the background to white. And then we're going to go grab a text element right here. So let's go to elements. Let's make this kind of an H3. It might be an H2, but that's okay. And there it is. We're going to copy this. Whoops, I clicked on it. My bad, people. Sorry. Okay, imagine an hour a week reserved for you. Just have to type it. Exclamation point. To learn, reflect, and develop yourself. All right, so we're going to now sort of mimic this size, and this is bold. So let's go ahead and we're going to make it bold. Let's do it over here. I prefer to do it here. Weight, we're going to make semi-bold. We're going to change the size to about like that. And you can see it has some space on the left and the right and the bottom and the top of this container. So what we're going to do is go to the container, not in the text element. We're going to go to the container that's holding the text element. We're going to put some spacing in the padding, and let's do 20 again. So we're not getting it exactly right, exactly the same, but we're getting the concept, right? This looks like it needs to be bolder. So let's go to bold. And I think also, again, let's see. Okay, we're at 100% here. Let's go 100% here. Yeah, we definitely are wider and larger, but I'll ask him later if that's okay. All right, now we see some issues here. So if you look at this version, we do have a little piece of text we need to put up there at the top, but this white is square on the corners here, but then it's rounded on the bottom. So what we're going to do is also, you see that this blue background is showing on the top, but it's not showing between the top and the text, right? So we need to get that taken care of. And the way we're going to do that is click on the image. We're going to put some spacing below it. Let's find this spacing first. Spacing 20, okay? So we're going to put some spacing below on the margin. And then we're going to go to the container, get rid of the spacing at the bottom. All right. And now we're going to round this container border, but we're just going to do the bottom. Pretty sure we did 20 on that. And we have an issue here where the original container has a shadow on it, so it needs to be rounded as well on the bottom. So let's go to border. All right. We pretty much created what they have here. We still need to add this text. Oh, and his is wobbling as well. We got to do that. So let's go to the container. Let's go to animation. Let's see if we've got a wobble somewhere or shake. Yeah, I don't see wobble. Let's see if shake will do it. Let's play. It's not shaking. Let's go on reveal. We'll check that in a bit. You know, it doesn't have to be exactly like his, but I want to show you how you can mimic things. All right. So headstrong, weekly, mastermind. There we go. Let's put this 250 limited time on here. So what we're going to do is we're going to add another element. We're going to get a text element. We're just going to take a paragraph element, put it up on top here. Now, I'm going to do something else. I'm going to go get a container to put that text into, because I like that because it gives you more control over sizing and spacing of the text. So I'm going to click out of the text. I'm going to grab the text and pull it into that container. There we go. Now this should be in a container, in a container, in a container, and it is. We're going to take the size of this container and just pull it back relative to parent. And we're going to say, I know it's on the wrong side, 250 limited time. And I do not know how to find that element on my keyboard. So we're just going to say 250 limited. And I'll have to look that up later. We're going to bold this. Let's go to, we're on the text. Let's make it bold. Oh, it's bolder than that. Let's go black. All right. Now, this text is inside a container, which is inside a container. Somehow I lost my other container that I shrunk. Did I shrink the text itself? If you're watching, you're paying attention, I made a mistake here. This is not what I wanted to do. I'm going to make that 100%. I'm going to go to the container that's holding it and make that size something like that. Then I'm going to go to this container. I'm going to go to layout, vertical, and I'm going to put this over to the right. Then I'm going to change the background of this container to this color, which looks like to me a different color. This, grab this, copy, and background, paste. By the way, if you're watching and you know how to get that pounds or sterling or whatever that represents on a keyboard, let me know. All right, so then I'm going to just take this 250 limited time, similar to this. Looks like it's kind of rounded a little bit, probably has a little bit of a shading on it. So let's go to border. We're going to just give it like a rounding of 5. And we're going to give it a box shadow that is smaller. And then you see that it's overlapping this image and it's moved not all the way to the right. So let's do this. Let's take the container, and first of all, I'm going to put a little padding in here to sort of move it over. And so it's centered. And then I'm going to take the spacing on this, and I'm going to take this bottom margin, make it negative, and pull it down. And I did hear someone saying the Z index might not be working the way it's supposed to, but let's try it anyhow. We're going to pull it over. Whoops. I want to move it to the right. Let's see what happens if I do this. There we go. So that's the way it should work. Let's go to the Z index. Make this one 5. Oh, there we go. Went right on top. There you go. So it's not exact, but oh, I see that's white, but it's similar, right? So let's go to the text, make it white. All right, how we doing, everybody? I missed it. Is the color picker a separate app? Yeah, no, the color picker is, I think the one I have is, this may be actually the native one in Mac. I think that's a native app in Mac. You can use, I forget the name of the color picker that I used to use, but then when I realized it was simple to get one on the Mac, I just started using that. So you're going to want to get, if you have a Mac, you can use just the app called Color Picker. Oh, I have it right here. There it is. This is another one. What's it called? Somebody tell me what this is called. Colorzilla. It's not the actual one I've been using. So if you go look for extensions in Chrome, you'll find other apps that will let you do color picking right off the page. All right, how we doing here? We're in Groove Funnels. We have created this. It's time to move on. No, we don't want to move on yet because this entire container is linked. So I'm going to copy the link address. I'm going to click on this entire container. You see I have the whole container because I have the outline going all the way around it. I'm going to go to the gear. I'm going to link this to a URL, paste in the URL that he has there, and update. And that should make this linked just like this one is. All right, we have 2 more buttons. And since they look a little bit darker, I don't know. If you're tuning in late and you haven't watched much of my stuff, I'm colorblind, so I have to totally go by color picker. So let's just do that. We'll grab this. Is that the same color? I don't know. What we're going to do is I'm just going to create another block here that's empty. And we want 2 columns. No, we don't want 2 columns. They're right on top of each other. So we're just going to go empty container. Make the background the same color as every other block. We're going to put some space into the block because we're going to make it like every other block on the page. We're going to put 50 spaces of padding in it. Then we're just going to create buttons. But since we have these buttons created up here, I'm just going to duplicate them. Before we go on, though, I want to fix this issue. And what I'm going to do is go into the spacing for the button. And you see it has 54 spacing on the left and the right in padding. I'm going to change that to 34. Now I'll do the same thing here. Spacing. All right. Now, you notice that this button is not as large as this one because we have more text. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go into this and I'm going to change the size width to fixed pixels. I'm going to pull this back until it looks pretty good. So it's close to 265. I'm going to just go 265. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Go size, fixed width, same width. And when you get into mobilizing, you might want to change that, but at least now the buttons are the same width. They're Yeah, uniform. Okay, let's grab this one, duplicate it. We're going to pull it down here into this container. We're going to go into the container. We're going to go to layout, vertical, center. And we're going to start making the button look the same. So Headway to Happiness newsletter sign up. I'm going to copy this link address. We're going to go into these button settings, which is here, and put that URL in. Something like that. What does it say? Headway to Happiness newsletter sign up. One word? Nope. 2 words. And let's see, it does not have an icon on it. So let's get rid of this icon. We're not going to use an icon. We're going to update. And check mark, exit. All right. So this text is quite a bit too large. So we're going to go to the text. And we're going to do the size. All right, we're on the container instead of the button. Now let's go to the text. And what we can do is, remember we made that button earlier, we made the size a fixed width. So we're going to change that here because they're wider at the bottom. They're the same width as this. So let's go to size, width, and I'm going to actually go relative to parent and pull that back to 50 because that's what we made the container above. So now it's matching the container above. Ray's probably going to look at this and say, why did you make it so wide? It's just an example. All right, and it is black. So that's pretty good. We're going to take this one and we're going to put some spacing below it because when we add the other one, we're going to want some spacing between them. So I'm going to do 30 and then I'm going to copy this, duplicate it, I mean. And now we have one down here to set up. All right. Oops, I clicked on it. I did not mean to do that. Let's right click it, copy the link address. We're going to go into the settings for the button, change the URL, change the text, which is speaking live on radio about happiness. Okay. And there is a left icon. Looks kind of like a SoundCloud icon. It sure is. There we go. And update. All right. Spacing issues, we'll probably want to adjust those, but it's, we're getting the idea down the page. Yeah. That's it. We need these 3 social media icons and we're done. So I'm going to go ahead and do that with another block. So click on the block, click plus, and I'm going to do it in an empty container. Now I'm going to grab an element, which is 3 columns, pull it down into that empty container. I'm going to put my spacing in here. So, well, first of all, let's do the background, same color. We're going to go put our padding in, spacing 50. And then we're going to do the same thing with our main container, not the layout, but the main container. We're going to make that size 50% again. I think in the end, we're going to end up shrinking those. Okay, note what I did here. The color, the background, I put on the container instead of the block. So that's why we have all this white space. So I'm just going to, I could take that out of there, but I'm just going to leave it there and go to the block and go to the background on that. Do the same thing. All right. Now we just need to add these icons. We have Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn. So let's go to Elements. Let's find an icon. All right, I went past it. There it is. Okay, I'm going to grab this icon. I'm just going to put it over here. We'll start on the right. LinkedIn. So we go to configure. By the way, when you're searching for one of these icons, make sure you use lowercase. If you type in capital linked, it doesn't find anything. So just a quick hint there. LinkedIn, and I think it was the IN. Is that right? Yeah. So, and then we're going to link to copy link address. This is interesting. Okay, there we go. URL. I'm going to open that in a new tab and update. Now, the thing that we're going to run into here is this is going to be on the left. It's going to be centered and right. So I'm going to go ahead on each of these containers, and I'm going to put layout, vertical, and I'm going to put it in the center and the center. All right, so let's go ahead and do that with this container before we start. Vertical, center, and then we're going to go grab an icon, put it in here, configure it, YouTube, I believe. Which one is it? It is this one. Let's go get his link. Copy link address, URL. Open in a new tab, update. This is interesting. Raymond, let's take a look at this because this is a link shore.buy, which I don't even know what that is, but I know that your site says it was made on shore.buy. So we're gonna want to fix those links so we can get rid of shore.buy, whatever that was. I gave Ray a hard time. He has Groove and he created this site on shore.buy. All right. And let's do this again. Let's go to the container. Let's go to layout, vertical, and let's go grab an icon. And this I've heard other people talking about. You see, one of the things we have here is I don't know that I can pull this. Oh, yeah, sure can. Never mind. It does go away while you're dragging, so that's good. And this one was Instagram, right? Yep. So again, the configure is here. This doesn't take that long to get used to. And I believe it's this one. We're going to go ahead and grab his link here, but I don't think we're going to keep those. URL, have to scroll here, URL, update, open in a new tab, update. Now, let's just take a look at what we have here. Oh, look at that. I did the same thing here that I did in this block. You see the white space? That's because I didn't put the background in the block. So let's go to the block, go to the background, and we couldn't see it because it was zoomed in. All right, now when we open this up. All right, how have we done? His is quite a bit narrower, 100%, and this is not as narrow as his. So let's do something. First of all, let's save this, and let's just, for kicks, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 5. I thought there were more devices. Let's go on mobile, and we're gonna work at that spacing a little bit. It's not too bad. I'm going to go ahead and on every main container in every block, I'm going to shrink it from 50 to, let's do 35. I'm going to have to resize those buttons. That's okay. We're going to go to container here, the main container in the block on every one of these, make it 35. Main container on the block. I see what I'm going to have an issue here. That's okay. 35. And the main container in this block, and I'm going to make that 35 as well. I think that's going to be a little bit more in line with the size, the width that he has. So that's cool. Let's go ahead and fix these buttons. So the text needs to be more like 20. Let's do the same thing. Text. And then we're going to want to resize the button itself, which is down here on sizing. Remember, we set it to a fixed width. So let's go to 185 and see what we got. Let's go to 205. There we go. That works. Works for me. Does it work for you? No, size 205. Okay, so it's still too wide. We don't have much of a gap in here. He has more of a gap. The thing is, he doesn't have any text on his, and I didn't find a way to get rid of the text. There's a way we could do this. Let's have fun. Let's go create those buttons with just the icons on them by bringing a 2-column container in here. And we're going to put an icon in each container. This will be fun. Trust me. And then in each container, can you see where I'm going with this? We're going to, in each container, we're going to put the layout to vertical. The icon here is going to be a WhatsApp icon here. Yep. And update. This icon, we got to do the centering here, layout, vertical. Change this icon to, what was it, email? Yep. And I think we had to do envelope. Yep. Grab this one. Is that the right one? No, it's closed. It's a closed envelope. Oh, that doesn't show up. Let's try this. This one. I'm having fun. Anybody else having fun? All right, see what we can do now? We can take this container. We can give it a background of this color, I believe. Nope, that's the wrong one. This one? Yeah. We can make the border rounded. I think we did about 10. It may have been more than that. Let's go 20. And we put a box shadow on it. Large. Oh, it's too much of a border rounding, I could see. So let's just try 15 and see how that looks. That actually is fine by me. So what are we going to do to make this a button? It's not automatically set up like a button. So what we're going to have to do is click on the container. First of all, let's go here and get the link. The link is here. We're going to go to the container. We're going to go to the settings for the container and give it a link, which is a URL. So essentially, when somebody clicks on this container, even though they don't know that it's a button, it's a container that has the WhatsApp icon on it. Now, it's a lot smaller. So let's go here to the icon, go to the text settings, and pull it back. So it's kind of like that. Let's just do 30 so they're the same. Now, you notice that the hover is changing colors. I didn't do that. They came in. Good. Somebody's having fun. I'm glad you're having fun. Let's see. I didn't make this happen. I'm going to show you how to do that if you don't know how. So I'm going to click on the container again. Let's work on the settings for this container. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to hover. And when we go to hover, we're going to change the color to, let's use this one. So what we did is when somebody hovers over this, it's going to change the background color to this. So, this is a different color, but it's okay. You can see that now it makes it more obvious that this is a button. Let's do the same thing over here. So let's go border. I think we put 15 in there. Let's go to background. For regular, we go this green. For hover, we go this green. And Oh, we have to make this smaller. We got to make this 30. Right now they're really thin, which I don't really mind. What we're going to do is go into the container, go to spacing, and above and below, let's put about 10 in there and see what it looks like. Not bad. We're just going to do this here as well. Right now, by the way, I'm going to get rid of this. No, we need the link. Let's grab this link first by clicking the gear, not going over there. All of these links, Raymond, we got to fix. Click on the gear, URL, open in a new tab. Okay, so now we have our buttons created and they look much more like this, which I'm very happy with. We're going to go into this layout 2x2 and delete it. All right, now we have to put some space below this text. So I think we had about 30 in there. I'm not positive, but yeah, that looks pretty good. We're getting closer. I think his image is a little smaller on here, but he needs a larger image because he needs his handsome face showing up more. All right, there we go. We created buttons that you can see when you hover over them, they change color. And when somebody clicks on them, they will work just like buttons, except we didn't use buttons. We just used a regular container. Okay, so when we did that shrinking, we did a couple of things. We squeezed this and we have more space at the top here than we need. So we want to go to spacing, and I'm not sure why we have more space at the top. So let's go see if we can figure that out. On the image, there's no spacing above it. On the container that's holding it, oh, I think it's this. This is causing this to have more space up here. So let's do something. Let's make this a bit wider. So size, so that it's, there we go. Now we probably want to put that space back in there. Or we just want to go to this and move it down a bit. So again, it's a negative spacing. We're going to just make it, let's make it 5 or something. I know it needs to be down more. Okay. 15. Yep. Now we want to go back here and put the spacing at the top. I think it was 20. Somebody help me out. Is it 20 or is it 15? All right. This in this container is the full container. Oh, okay. We put spacing after the image of 20. So it's 20 at the top and the bottom, but this looks like less spacing. Well, we could play around with that or we can just move on. All right, 250 limited time. Now we're looking more like this. I think I would probably shrink it even a bit more. We have an issue here because I actually created the buttons at a particular size. So we're going to go change that size to 100%. Change this size to 100%. And voila. Let's take a look. Let's save it and let's take a preview and see what it looks like. All right, not bad. Again, his is still narrower. So if he wants it narrower, we'll do that. But as far as content, we just created pretty much exactly what he had by using 2.0. All right. Oh, thanks, Diet. I wasn't even paying attention. You showed me you told me that there were 20 at the top. I appreciate that. All right, let's see if the links work. Oh, they don't work because we're in preview mode. No problem. What do you think? Feedback? Did it look easy? I noticed something here. I'm going to see something. When you pull it down, you see that white space up there? I'm going to see if I can fix that by going to the body and changing the background color. Let's change the background color to, is that blue? Yeah. And see if that fixes that. Let's preview it. It did. Look at that. The white space went away. I don't know if you knew, but you can actually change the color on the body, which is the basic, the basic canvas that everything you're building goes on. Okay, everybody, I enjoyed it. It was fun. Tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern, we have a free funnel build workshop, and I want to invite you to come and be a part of that. And it starts at 10 a.m. Like I said, you can register at yourbestgroove.com. There's a button right at the top. Or if you want to go directly, yourbestgroove.com/free-workshop. Easier to click the button, but you can join that workshop, and we're going to go we're going to help you walk through building a page, building a landing page, adding a thank you page, putting a form on the landing page to collect emails with GrooveMail, and then we're going to finish up by adding a checkout to the second page so we can do a sale. So that's tomorrow at 10 a.m. I hope you enjoyed it. And maybe I'll do this again if you guys decide you'd like to see live builds again. Took about an hour, and I enjoyed it. Everybody have a great day. I'm going to sign off.